Are you a single lady out there and you aspire to get married? Were you proposed to this Valentine's and you are ready to get into the thick of things of planning a wedding? Are you already planning a wedding and things are really tough on you? Well, this video is for you. Hi friends, my name is Doreen, and on this channel we share content related to women wellness and well-being, and today we are going to tackle the topic of weddings. Basically planning a wedding, the do's and don'ts when you're planning a wedding. So with me is Anne, who has recently gotten married, so she knows these things more than me. For context, she's been married for 3 months. I've been married for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I may have a point or two to chip in, but she really has all the tea, because for her she has been there. She's been there recently. Yeah, so let her introduce herself and then we get right into it.
My name is Agaba and I'm recently married. We got married on the 28th of October last year. It's been amazing. 3 months down the road, and yeah, some of you might be saying, enjoy now. No, I'm enjoying forever.
Yes. You guys had a beautiful wedding.
Thank you. We'll put some pictures.
Yeah, I got to see some of the pictures and some of the videos. I was like, wow. This is what a wedding should look like.
It was beautiful.
It really was. Yeah, so today we are going to share the do's and don'ts for when you're planning a wedding. So Anne is going to take it on. Yeah, so you start with the first do. What should we do when we are planning a wedding?
The first point is that you should have a budget limit.
Yes.
Have a budget, but have a budget limit.
Yes.
It's important to know that this is how far we can go.
Yes.
Otherwise, the dreams are many. Doreen, I will tell you this.
Interest boards.
My friend. You people, because you're new to this, okay, unless you've gotten married before, you probably know how the drill goes. But for those who are fresh, you've never gotten married, there's so much to think about.
Yeah.
I had three types of, for every service provider, I had 3. I had my 3 columns. I had the dream that maybe could achieve. In case we shock our system. Then we had the reality. The reality. So yeah, the limit. I don't know how you handle that, but
no, we also had that.
Yeah.
I had 2 budgets, like you've said.
Yes.
I had the one which we can afford.
Yes.
My husband and I, fiancé then, and then we had just in case people add more money.
Yes.
These are some of the things that we can add. Like Deco, they always say now, okay, let me say you have a budget of 5 million.
Yes.
But if you add 2, we can give you the other nice chairs. So we had the one for the basic chairs, and then if you add 2, we shall bring that. We had two budgets.
Yeah,
you really have to
have a limit.
Yes,
and make sure, because things will come, ideas will come for sure, and everything is beautiful. It only gets better. But if you have a limit and you know that my budget shouldn't go above 36 million, or 35, or whichever number you choose, then you will keep within your means. And actually, you could even go lower.
Yeah.
It's even safer, because at the end of the day, you will need more money even after the wedding.
Yeah.
That
is true.
So that's the first point.
Because it's very important not to start marriage in debt.
Very true.
You guys, whichever dream deco you want a glass floor, you want what, it is so important not to start marriage in debt.
Very true.
We shared about marriage. We share about marriage and all, but people, marriage in debt is not nice.
It's not beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, when they say, I think somebody said, where there is love and money makes it sweeter, something like that. It's not that you should have money, only and only should you get married when you have money, but even avoiding certain things like debts are good enough. Yeah. So that's the first thing, having a limit. And the second thing is certain items as a couple, you should be able to cover them really.
Yeah.
You have a budget. There are things on your budget that when you draw up your budget, there are things you should be able to say, this we shall cover ourselves.
Yes.
And for such things, I'm speaking to things like church fee, the most
Rings.
important, the rings, church fee,
Dressing.
your dress code
Yes.
should be covered by you as a couple. Yeah, the most important things that actually mean that we have gotten married.
Yes.
Forget about the food, forget about the rest of the
venue
venue.
parts, yeah.
Those things come into, to celebrate. But the church fee, the rings, the dress code for both of you, his suit and your dress. What else makes a marriage? Isn't that it? That is the most important thing. The wedding that's the ceremony. Then you can go the rest of the things, as long as you've covered those ones. The rest is okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that, because you find sometimes we are what is it called, pledging.
Yes.
With the wedding gown. Who has forced you to
There's
get
a
married,
story.
people? Who has forced you to get married?
Someone's
You don't even know
suit.
what to wear.
Someone's suit was pledged. Someone pledged to give the groom his suit. You people, till the morning of the wedding, there was nothing to wear.
Imagine.
You don't want to go
Putting
through
yourself
that.
under that pressure. That is really too much. Yeah, so certain items, please cover them yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number 3. This one might seem like it's a dream or what, or it's whimsical, but make sure that you pay for your honeymoon early.
I've heard that, by the way.
This is
Very
why it is important.
Yeah.
The reason why it is important is because the truth is, by the time you're done preparing these functions, especially when you have your introduction and your wedding at the same time, okay, around the same period, you get exhausted. It takes every little bit of energy in you, and you will need to rest. Now imagine you want to rest, and yet there is no bed. Where are you resting? Because there is no bed. Even the couch is not just, you're sitting down in your sitting room. And get serious. I mean, you can't stay in a hotel. No.
You can't stay there forever.
You can't stay in a hotel forever. These days there are places which will give you that. I mean, if you the night, one night, the complimentary night. But that's it. Tomorrow you start reality. Then you have to go back to a day that is very uncomfortable, maybe. Or so honeymoon. Pay for your honeymoon. I don't know when you paid for your honeymoon.
I'm agreed to pay for your honeymoon.
Yes.
Then if you pay for 6 months rent,
Yes.
fill your fridge with food.
That money that they are contributing must fill your fridge.
Buy those dry cereals, rice,
Dry rations.
Yes.
Oh my God, very important. Pay for your car.
Pay for your car, pay for water. Because let me tell you something.
Yes.
The people that you're fighting to feed,
Yes.
first and foremost, we shall not appreciate your food.
Very true.
If we appreciate it, we shall forget immediately as soon as we leave.
Point.
Yeah, so the venue that you like, I don't even remember some of the venues of the people I've attended their weddings to. Just get simple things like we shared at the beginning. Something that you can afford, something that is within your budget.
Yes.
And then I agree with paying for your honeymoon so that you can go and rest.
Yes.
The wedding process has a lot of strife.
A lot.
The devil fights. Me, I call it the devil.
It's true. It's
Me,
the
I
devil.
don't want to say that the couple is fighting.
The
It's
devil.
just the devil.
It's
that
causing
doesn't-
anything.
Yes, that doesn't want the couple to get married.
Yes.
Marriage is an institution that was started by God.
Yes.
And it's run by God.
Yes.
So it's just so... it would even be shocked that your wedding was... The planning was smooth. Huh?
Yes.
That means the devil was not fighting.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's okay for the devil to fight, but you go through.
Yes.
Yeah, so pay for your honeymoon, pay for your rent,
Yes.
buy things that, those which are not perishable.
Yes.
Keep some money on your account.
Very true. Have some money that which that this one, even if you take it out to pay for the most important things, when people start to pledge, put it back. Wesasude, do not allow to have nothing on your account. You will need this money.
Yeah. So I thank God that my husband actually put me in perspective on this.
Yes.
Because I was like, Pinterest wedding. I went to dig which is like, what is like, why? Why do you need all that? No one will remember all these things.
You also need to know what is most important to you as a couple. Yeah. Because when my husband and I were getting married, I sat down and agreed with my husband, then fiancé, and agreed what was important to us as a couple. And we agreed that things like photography is important to us. Why?
Yes, for memories.
Exactly. It is what we are going to keep. It is what we're going to remain with. Yeah. Things like the dress code mattered because it is what is going to be in the photograph.
Yes.
You get?
Yeah.
Things like food, yes, it mattered, but come on. We're not going to remember the food 5 years down the road. Some people remember, but the food was also great. We thank God. Which brings me to our fourth point. That pray for exactly how you want things to be.
Yeah.
That is a do. Because when you ask God, the Bible tells us that when you ask for fish, He's not going to give you stone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I sat down and because people used to tell me, I don't know if people told you this, something must go wrong.
Yeah.
Eh?
I heard that.
One thing at least the makeup artist will be late.
Yeah.
At least the shoe will be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I prayed against all that. I said, God, if it has never happened in the history of our world, let mine be
Yes.
the first.
Yes.
That
You
nothing
can
bad.
testify about it.
I don't know if this is a bad thing, but the only thing I could say went wrong was I ate a small piece of my cake. That one that they feed you.
And that is really...
That's the only piece I ate, but everybody was telling me the cake was nice and what. But exactly how I wanted my day to flow is exactly how it went. All my service providers were on time. My makeup artist came on time. She first rerouted, but actually she ended up coming on time. Everything was the way I wanted it to be. So as I do, number 4, you should be able to pray exactly what you want. Yeah.
And I like that you said that because some of us many years ago,
Yes.
we actually believed that. So what I put in my head was that even if anything goes wrong, I choose to be happy.
Yes.
So that's where my focus was. And let me tell you, if you don't pray against things, they actually happen.
Yeah.
And I like that you prayed against things.
I
like
did.
in knowledge,
Yes.
they said something must go wrong. You're like, no,
I
nothing
don't want
will
anything
go
to
wrong.
go wrong.
Yes, and
Yes.
God did it for you.
He
So
did.
it's very important to pray in knowledge.
Yes.
I did
yes.
the same like when I was having my baby. They're like, all babies get colic. My baby didn't get colic.
Wow.
As I prayed against it.
Wow. That's
All
nice.
babies do what my baby didn't. You know, like
Yes.
she's on her own path, directed by prayer
Yes.
and by the grace of God. Yeah, so as you share, I want to also encourage that nothing will go wrong.
Amen.
But just in case it does, your happiness,
Yes.
your peace, your joy for your day. Can you imagine taking pictures and you're frowning?
And then you look at those pictures 5 years later, 10 years later, and you're thinking,
15
what was
years
I
later.
up to?
Yeah.
What was
And
I
guess
up
what you're
to?
frowning at? But the chicken was not deep fried well.
Chicken. Do not sweat the little things.
Please.
I think that should be our motto.
Yeah.
Do not sweat the little
Keep
things.
the main thing.
Yes.
And I like that point of sitting down and choosing which things are important
Yes,
for you.
yes.
Because different people will focus on different things.
Very true.
Someone will be like, for me, cake must be on point.
On point.
That's okay.
Deco.
Must
Eh?
be on point.
I have a friend. Oh, she told me the photography. She didn't matter. It didn't matter whether they were making her plastic or what. She wanted to look plastic. She didn't want to natural look. She wanted to look like a Barbie. And she did look like a Barbie. So I don't know. We have very different things that are important to us.
Yeah.
But you have to agree with your partner
Yeah.
at the end of the day because you're becoming one. Yeah.
I think the wedding planning process really is a compromising place.
Yes.
Of this one doesn't want this one wants it. What
Let's
do
meet
we
in the
do?
middle.
I think it's the beginning of marriage.
It is.
It's the real beginning of marriage,
Yes.
of the oneness of coming together to
Yes.
agree like, let's do this.
Yes, very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so number 5 on the to-dos would be, as a couple, be organized. Because this not only helps the committee that you choose, for those who are pro-committees, some people do not like committees, but I really believe this thing, you can't do it alone. Unless you're going to hire, what are the wedding planners?
Yes.
Yeah, then you won't need a committee. But if you're like us, for us, we used a committee. But as a
Africans,
couple,
please,
yes,
you have to.
you have to have a committee. As a couple, you need to be able to be organized. It starts with the two of you, how you want your day to go. Some of the tips that my husband and I used, then my fiancé, we used, we came up with, we had if you want, I'll put a template. We had templates for everything. So we had a template for how we wanted the day to flow. We had a template for the service providers. We had a template for our committee members and their different roles. Those I can share. And really, it was amazing, because by the time we handed over the paperwork, we drove our thing ourselves. And in like the last month, that is when our chairperson said, "You guys, you need to relax. Give it. Let us take it on from here." But when we were now saying, you know what, yeah, you guys take it on from here, everything was done. We just handed over. It was like we're handing over a file that everything was in place, and they're like, that was the easiest wedding to deal with, because everything was in place. The telephone numbers of all the service providers were right there. Who it is, how to pay the money, everything was right in order. Everybody knew their roles in the committee. There was nothing like you're overstepping or what. Yes, there is something called unity. You're supposed to work together. You come in where somebody isn't. But again, you knew exactly what you're supposed to do. That if I'm supposed to make sure that the Bagolei are ready in church, it's my duty. No one is going to, push me to do it. There was nothing like reminding. But again, because we were organized, it helped everybody else to be organized. And everything went on time.
Yeah, actually, organization helps with things going on time.
Yeah.
And also putting pressure off of the Mugone.
Yes.
Can you imagine you're seated, you're in church, and the cake person has refused to come because the balance, the groom is the one who has the balance.
Look at
Imagine. Those things happen.
They do.
They're just even not hypothetical.
They do.
They real happen. Yeah, so the things that you're mentioning, I didn't know it was to be organized, but we also did the same.
Yes.
And I think that's what helped the wedding to flow.
Yes.
Yeah, to flow very well. One of the things that my husband was away when we were planning the wedding, so it was me planning the wedding. And I think, one thing that I did is I had an intro on Friday, our wedding was on Saturday.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that means that the people who are working on Friday would have to come and work on Saturday. Okay, like my friends. But now his family, remember, is the one that is supposed to take over the wedding. So what we did, I got like a few friends of mine to take over my other side and my people, my relatives, like a sister, to take over my side, and then for them they also had their side. Yeah, so we did have things. I don't know, did you guys have wedding meetings?
Yeah, we did too.
Okay, so the wedding meetings we had...
Two in Kampala, two in Bar.
Like the wedding meetings we had were the parents' meeting. You know, our parents are always attending people's meetings.
Yes.
Now their child
So they
is
had
getting
to.
married, so we
Yes.
have to.
Yeah.
So the money they collected, by the way, I don't even know where it is. I don't know if they collected any money, because you remember the budgets we were talking about?
Yes.
We went with our budget, which we could cover.
Yes.
So that really helped us so much. It is so important to be within budget, because you're not putting people on pressure.
Yeah.
Do you know the chairperson? We went to someone to be our chairperson and he refused. And you know the reason he gave? Because he had been people's chairperson.
Yes.
And their weddings were disorganized. Their functions were disorganized.
Yeah.
He ended up paying his money. They didn't pay him back. He was like, I'm not going to do this again.
That trauma.
So those are the things that I think my husband didn't want. Those things. Yeah, so we ended up, like, the meetings we're having were for my intro, but I would sneak in the wedding things. Yeah, so I really thank God for that point of being organized.
Yeah.
It is very important to be organized. For your sanity.
For your sanity.
And also for the people that are helping you run the function.
That's very true. Well, those are the do's.
Yes.
We move on to the don'ts.
Okay.
So the first don't I would give is, please and please do not add all your contacts into a group. What's
I
that?
have found myself in groups. I'm like, okay, who are these people?
Exactly.
And then you remember you met them like 20 years ago at someone's wedding.
Look
You
at
saved the
20
contact.
years.
Imagine.
Then you add everybody. Those that matter, those that don't, those who know you, those that don't know about. Please. WhatsApp has made things easier. These days, I mean, we are tech savvy lately. Just get a link, send to people's inboxes. Whoever wants will join.
Yeah.
But can you imagine that pain? As a Mugole, you've added these people to that, then they left. You people.
It's not nice.
Even us, we don't want to get out, but I have a friend who told me for her, when they add her in a group, she gets out at midnight, but still, they're going to find you there. So and so left.
Yeah.
You get. So please, that's a don't. I
Yeah,
don't know what
don't
you
do
think
that.
about that.
No, there's a thing that was going around around the time for our functions.
Yes.
They were saying that if you've not talked to someone in 6 months, do not invite them to your wedding.
Number two, do not expect anything from anyone.
That's true.
If you're going to expect from God alone. People, that period, by the way, wedding preparations, introduction and what, functions basically, you will lose friends. True, you will gain friends. But the people that you will expect, this one I think will give me 1 million. My friend, they'll give you 100,000, even 50, and they tell you,
not
things
contribute.
are hard.
Yeah, and things be hard by the way.
Not contribute. You know, there are those people, all those people that you have in your head. This one will give me this much. This one will give me.
You'll get a shock of your life.
And then there are those that you didn't expect to actually give you as much as they will give you.
That's true.
So basically, have an open mind. They tell you that when you're getting into marriage, do not expect anything. You know, do not have expectations on your. If you go for counseling, they'll tell you don't have expectations on your partner. But even when you're preparing for your functions, expect only and only from God. People will disappoint you, and you won't believe it.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
So, I was among the last people in our group to get married.
Yes.
So of course I was working, I had money.
Yes.
I think the list I had contributed to my friends' functions was like, okay, the list was 300, but most of them it was a basic 500.
Yes.
All of them. So like you've contributed like 7 people 500, you're like, that's now like a 3.5.
Hey.
I'll add it here. But mind you, the people you contributed to 500, they now have families, they have children. Someone will tell you that I had pledged 300, but my child is in hospital.
Yes.
I can't. But then there are those friends now who are not yet married who are able to contribute the 500.
Yes.
So if you're only focused on I gave this one 500, they must pay my 5. You'll be in for the shock of your life.
Actually, for me, what happened was that I was at a time where I'm among the first people. In my girls group, let me say, I'm the first to get married. And interesting, we had just finished LDC, Law Development Center.
Really,
so why are people going to get the money to give? Doreen,
Yeah.
I used to call people. I lost friends. I used to call people, and people would think I'm calling them to ask for money. Like even when I'm just checking in, I'm like, it's been a minute since I talked to this person. No one will pick up. They will no picking up, no responding to you. Like at least return the call. Okay, send me a message and tell me I was busy. Is everything okay? But guess what? I actually understood. I understood because people didn't have jobs. There was no money. So honestly, mine was for faith. Me, I had to believe in God. I had to believe in God. I can't say I had the faith from the start. It would waver. Sometimes it was there and I'm like, yeah, this is good. Then next time I'm like, but what you're seeing in reality versus what is actually happening just do not make sense.
You're seeing a duck moving swiftly on water, and the inside just like
exactly.
Yeah,
it's peddling.
So I really understand what you're saying.
Yes.
And in regards to that, I remember when I was planning for my introduction, I think I could only afford the clothes to wear. So what I did, us in Western Uganda, when they give dowry, in most cases it's used for the introduction. So maybe because I was hinging on that or planning using that, but I really didn't have anything. Something happened like before my function that like drained my savings.
Yes.
So I was like starting from scratch, but then I had that dowry, which I thank God for.
Yes. So point number 3, when it comes to the don'ts. Point number 3 is do not waste money on things that you can actually avoid.
Yes.
Things like hard copy, whatever's invitation. You know, we like I said earlier on, we are tech savvy these days.
Everyone has WhatsApp.
Most people have WhatsApp. So if you're to make hard copy cards, make them for people who are from the village, those who, and those are not so many. Okay, these days, Bambi, there are not so many. Nobody sends a bus to the village anymore to bring people. what are you doing? How important are those people? Yeah, you can't be after COVID. I think we learned that there's beauty in there's beauty in small weddings.
Yeah.
How are all these people that you're bringing to that? How are they going to help?
Some of them don't know you.
Thank you.
They've never seen you. They don't know anything about you.
Thank you. Speaking of they don't know you, some of them, I remember some of my relatives didn't even know my son. They would literally confuse me for my sister.
Can you imagine? And they've come from
Meanwhile, like, those were not many. It was also something to do with how we grew up and our childhood and what. So many of them were not as interested. We were not the favorite children or the children that everybody is always. There are those kids in the family that everybody's like, oh my God, I need to be close because the parents must notice that I'm close to their children. Then maybe they. So we weren't those children. So nobody really cared. So when it came to the functions and what, first of all, it threw them off. Like, they didn't expect such a thing. They're like, what? Okay. Anyway, now that it has come, we need to see. Is she bringing an old man?
Can you imagine?
I catch those numbers. So, do not have the whole village coming to your wedding just because you can prove a point. Those are more mouths to feed, more places to sit.
Money, yeah.
It's more money, yeah? Things like cards, invitation cards, mania pledge cards, do those things online. Yeah, pledge cards. You don't have to actually have a hard copy pledge card. Yes, we had those, but I can imagine. I keep throwing them out. Yeah, I keep throwing them out.
Us who get them.
Yes,
Because after you've pledged, they put your pledge in an Excel sheet.
thank you.
And that is it.
Yeah, and that is it.
So why are you wasting money?
The invitation cards.
What?
Invitation cards these days, you should see ours. It was a passport. What? And now I'm like, why did we waste money? Because people only need to see that date, that time, the venue,
Yeah,
and that's
that's
it.
all,
And they
yeah.
throw it away.
Yeah.
Unless you're actually going to use it at the entrance, which we threatened to do. That is why we actually give out cards. We're like, we're going to use them at the entrance. We're not allowing everybody to come. Did we? We didn't. So if you're not going to actually use them at the entrance and you're not going to be as strict, don't waste money on such
Even if you're
things.
going to be strict, you can print. Okay, there's a wedding I attended.
Yes.
You print your guest list, and someone comes and tells you their name.
Yes,
You check
yes,
for it and
yes.
and allow them.
Get people who don't care, who don't fear relatives.
No, we did it. We actually just away some uncles.
See? Look
Just
at that.
when I
Sorry.
remember that wedding, I'm like, you guys, we are tough. Then there was this chick, she's called Jean. She'd be like, sir, I'm sorry you've come all this far to attend this wedding, but the groom and the bride, this is their guest list and you're not part of it. So you will not be allowed to enter. And she's smiling. I was like,
Smile.
wow, you chick, wow. But they just away people. And then we use that same sheet to create meal cards.
Yes, yes, yes.
Those things of this card invites two people. Children are loved, but
And
not
not
invite-
welcome.
And you bring your whole family.
My friend,
You will eat 2 plates.
Doreen, some people are shameless. They tell you 2 people, then they bring their child, and because their child is a child, they join their seats and sit in the middle. What's that? People, also you whom they have invited, respect people's wishes.
Yes, we need to do that. We need to
Yeah.
respect people's wishes.
So do not waste money on things that are uncalled for. Number 4, especially the ladies, and I think this one we talked about when I saw your wedding shoes. Comfort is
You guys.
key. Comfort is key. Goes from the shoes to the necklace, because there are people who wear necklaces. I had a very subtle necklace. I mean, when we put up the picture, maybe you will see. It was a very subtle necklace. The earrings, like people who have heavy earrings that keep opening. I don't know if they keep falling. The matron has to keep, helping you. There is that. And then shoes.
Guys,
The shoes.
very important. One of the things that I did when I was buying accessories for my wedding, I looked for things that I could wear again.
Thank you. Me as well. Oh, you're so nice.
I did not want to buy a shoe of 1.3 and wear it once, and that is it. Because those things, some of them really be uncomfortable.
Exactly.
So all the shoes, even for the introduction,
Yes.
was like, where am I going to wear this shoe to again?
Exactly.
Because like all that money wastage for what? Earrings. Like you have a chunk, like uncomfortable. You know, I had simple, nice, like cute things, but that I knew that I could wear again.
And there is beauty in simplicity. People, I don't know, but some people say it is class to be simple and what? Why don't you be that classic one?
You know.
Why not? Yeah. Have simple things that you can use again, because at the end of the day, you're going to have a life.
Yeah.
It doesn't end at the wedding, on the wedding day. No, you're going to look at these things. That's why when it came to my introduction, I said I'm not buying Gomesis. If there is an option for hiring.
Same sis.
Where am I going to put on this Gomesi shiny? Nobody's wedding. Am I going to wear this thing again? Shiny. What? You come out. Okay, you're going to keep them for what? To keep looking at them. Oh, I got married in this dress.
Yeah,
come on.
I also hired.
I didn't hire my gown though, because I looked for what I wanted and I couldn't. So we made one from scratch, but I made it for hire. Yes. So I made it to my body and what, but the lady remained with it. I didn't keep it with
You were
me.
the first person to wear
Yes, to wear it. And so she made it according to what I wanted. Change here, change there, we did all that, but she kept it after that.
That's
Yeah. So do not stress yourself. Comfort is key. Are you comfortable in that dress? You know those dresses that hold you and then you
that was set, like you can't sit.
You can't sit, you can't breathe, but because you've got to look pretty. You know? So comfort is key at the end of the day. If you've got to change shoes after church, change them.
Yeah.
Why not? It's your day. Be happy, because it makes all the difference to have a happy bride.
It does. Yeah. And keep smiling.
Yes.
I'm not to reach number 5.
Yeah.
But keep smiling. Those photographers, I don't know whether some of them are big against brides. They will look for when you're like, and then they'll take a picture and you find it in your album. Like, now what was I thinking? Yeah, so one of the things that I did was keep smiling. Everywhere I was, I was always smiling. When I'm quarreling, I'll be smiling. Like this, like, you mean you haven't done, but yeah, keep smiling.
It's important.
Nice photos.
Well, and number 5, do not forget the most important thing. It is not about the wedding. It is the marriage. Yeah. It's more than the day. It's more than the waking up in the morning in a hotel and what. While you're preparing for that day, prepare for the season you're entering, because it's the most important thing actually. Without the noise, without the relatives, without the party, without the DJ, what they say when the orchestra has gone, what remains is the two of you in your marriage. Now, these days, it's a thing to plan who had the best wedding, who had the best, reception and what, the food and what. And then after that, people break up in 2 days. That the marriage dies in 2 days, literal 2 days, but because you've got to keep up the looks, you push for 1 year, for 2 years, and then, you realize it's over. There's nothing here. There's nothing more we're doing here.
Because you did not prepare.
Exactly, because you didn't prepare. Some of these things there are battles that you can fight. There are battles that you cannot avoid within marriage, because the devil is going to fight you, that's for sure. Yeah, he's not going to let you rest. But there are things that you can avoid before you even get into the marriage.
Yeah.
You get it? So why would you wait to reach there and then you say, these things of Manya, I will change him. Will you?
Are you God?
Are you God?
Everyone created him.
Yes.
How will you change him?
But when he sees me going to church every day, he will also go. Will he? Will he?
If he didn't go when you were dating,
yes,
he will not go after you.
He won't.
The books.
Exactly. When a monkey gets
the books.
When a monkey gets married, it doesn't change from being a monkey. It remains a monkey. Yeah. So prepare for the most important thing. The marriage. The wedding is not the most important thing. And you might be there thinking, we shall see when we get there. Will you really? When things are tough, you will start praying for something that you'd have avoided. For example, getting married to an unbeliever. The Bible says you cannot be yoked to an unbeliever. Yeah. there's a reason why they say that. It goes back to, can two people work together unless they're in agreement?
Yeah.
All that brings you to that part. So if you're going to start praying for your husband when you're in marriage, for him to become born again, when you could have avoided it, or at least waited for him to first become born again before getting married, then you can start praying for other things. Because the truth is, in marriage, as ladies, we are supposed to be on our knees. Even the men, true, but us more. Us more, because guess what? We are the homemakers.
Yeah.
We are the homemakers, we are the nurturers. I mean, you nurture your husband literally. They don't know, but you literally nurture him.
Yeah.
The things I could continue, but we have no time.
That thing of praying in marriage,
Yes.
as the wives, I always tell my friends that as wives,
Yes.
if in an ideal situation, women are not even supposed to go
To
the
work.
job.
True. Very true.
Because you're fasting, you're praying for the family, the family's well-being depends on you.
Yes.
By God's grace, you have children.
Yes.
The children's well-being depends on you. Remember, you've gone through 9 months of pregnancy.
Yes.
You've gone through giving birth.
Yes.
Everything has changed. Your body is changing. Your mind has changed. Your whole thing, like in each and every season, like every part of it is changing.
Yeah.
And then you have a boss there telling you, "Why have you come late sincerely?" I slept in the hospital with my child. That's why I didn't come yesterday. You get it?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a very good point, that as homemakers, we have to pray.
Yes.
We have to pray. On top of going to work, on top of the businesses that we have, on top of as much as the marriage is hinged on the man as the head, but us, we have to pray.
Yes.
And if you get born again, you're already married, you got born again, your spouse is not yet born again. The Bible says that the acts that you do, the way you live your life is supposed to change the person.
Yes.
So even as you pray for the person get born again, act born again.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so that's where we are. If you're not yet married, please do not be unequally yoked with a non-believer.
Yes.
Already we've been a believer to believer there. Now imagine
a non-believer. What about non-believer to non-believer? The category in there.
Yeah. Those are some of the points that we were able to share. Thank you, Anne, for sharing with us so generously. I've really enjoyed this one.
Yes,
I love love.
I know. I call myself a hopeless romantic.
Yeah.
I love, when it comes to love, I really love.
I love love. I love things to do with weddings.
Yes.
You know, I'm actually, I think I'm a wedding, I could be a wedding planner. I could.
Let's start a business.
We should.
We should.
And I don't think there's even anyone in Bar.
We
Because
should.
I planned my brother's wedding last year or the other year, single-handedly.
Can you imagine?
It was so beautiful. I was like, I could do this for a living. And imagine
Single-handedly.
doing something that you like.
Yes.
And you're
It
doing
doesn't
and
even
they're
feel like
paying
work.
you.
It doesn't even feel like
Guys,
work.
if you have a wedding upcoming, please.
We are here.
We are available to take
Please
all the
do.
burden.
We will help you.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Anne, for coming.
Sure. Thanks for
I
having me.
hope and pray that you'll be coming back for more and more episodes.
I want. I want to come back.
Yeah, there you have it. We now have a constant guest.
Yes.
Who is going to be permanent maybe in future because
Amen. Amen to that.
Yeah. So this has been really so nice.
Beautiful.
Reliving my wedding, reliving the memories. Wow.
Going down the memory lane.
Yeah, I now feel like I should go and put my video there and rewatch it and see.
And see, did you smile?
Yeah.
Did you,
I was smiling, I smiled. You see your picture?
I see.
I was smiling the whole time because I had learned from someone.
Yes.
Because they catch you on that moment where you've just frowned. You're like, really? With the other moments I was smiling. Yeah, so where I see things going wrong, the cake is toppling, falling, but you're still
Smiling it out. Because by the way, when something is going wrong, they fix the cameras on you.
You're like, guys, please have some heart.
I remember my wedding day, I almost fell down. And I do not know if those guys didn't capture that moment. And yet, I watched the video, it's not on the video. But twice, the chair that I was seated on, somehow I fell in.
Oh, there are those chairs which have
Which
like
move?
an inside thing.
Yes, and then oh god, it wasn't a nice sight. Yeah, but we went through.
Those are functions.
Yeah.
But we thank God that we went through.
Amen.
So there you have it. I hope you've been encouraged, uplifted, and motivated to be the best version of yourself. If you're planning a wedding, I hope this video has been very beneficial to you. If you have a friend who is planning a wedding, please share. And if you've not subscribed, subscribe so that we can be many and grow and learn and, you know, be better together. Thank you for watching. Bye.